Welcome to CKW Week, Month 7. It is your GM here. Got some awful, unfortunate news. I have a statement that needs to be read here. We got to get it out of the way. That sounds terrible. This is coming straight from the Larry estate. This is the press briefing, by the way. The wrestling world mourns the loss of Flapjack Larry after a tragic Hell in a Cell incident. The professional wrestling community is mourning the untimely passing of Flapjack Larry, a beloved performer known for his golden heart, unforgettable presence, and astonishing agility inside the ring. Larry died from injuries sustained during the Hell in a Cell match held on July 16, 2025. During the brutal match, a section of the steel structure came loose and was used repeatedly by his opponent, who shall not be named, leading to severe internal trauma. Despite immediate medical attention and nearly 2 weeks of intensive care, Larry passed away in San Francisco, California, where he had been living at the time. Originally hailing from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Flapjack Larry was a fan favorite luchador who defied expectations with his combination of comedic flair and legitimate ring skills. Dressed in bold black and gold, Larry became known for his signature move, the Flapjack, and his gravity-defying finishing maneuver, the 450 Larry, a full aerial 450 splash that brought crowds to their feet. And that has nothing to do with him impacting the ground and making everyone lift up because of the impact. That's neither here nor there. Though often described as a comically obese in wrestling circles, Larry moved like a man half his size and left audiences in awe, not just with what he could do in the ring, but with the heart he brought to every match. He was a proud member of the popular faction Los Buenos, alongside fellow superstars Bayley and Ace Rodriguez, representing the good guys with passion, pride, and purpose. He wore black and gold, but his legacy shines brighter than ever. It's a moment of silence for Larry, and we have a 10 yeet salute.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Larry will be missed.
What just happened?
Time for another month of CKW as we start off with Ace Rodriguez taking on our newest wrestler, replacing the late great Flapjack Larry. We introduce Loco Justice Lopez. I know, an interesting name, but the name fits such an interesting character. He is the neighbor and friend of Flapjack Larry, and his dying wish was for him to take his place and carry on the Larry name, and it would be the perfect matchup between him and Larry's former teammate of Los Buenos, as this was set up to be a match honoring the late great Larry, and Loco took all advantage of making everyone on the roster know who he is, because Ace Rodriguez, though he has been on the hottest streak you could ask for in the last few months, he did not make it easy on Loco Lopez. Loco Lopez has a very brutal fighting style, and he was going to make sure Ace Rodriguez knew that this wouldn't be easy. Gets the 1, 2, 3, and Ace Rodriguez is surprised as he gets the loss, but things would not end there.
But hold on a second. They'll happen to the lights. Oh my God, no!
After missing time, Bayley returns after his knee injury, which turns out he got some help from Havoc with a little bit of juju. Bayley's knee is back, and he is looking for vengeance against Ace Rodriguez. We'll get more into that storyline as Jerome Briggs, one half of the tag team champion, takes on the Samoan Bear in Michael Te'o, as the Pillars are not done in their quest for tag team gold. The battle between these two juggernauts would be one to remember as Michael Te'o sets to make an imprint in this tag team competition. But this one would be a one-on-one between Briggs and Te'o. Michael Te'o starting off fast as he typically does in these matches, as Jerome Briggs caught himself reeling for the majority of this bout. But that would not last long, as the tag team champion would resort to all kinds of tactics to get himself back on the right side of things, and Jerome Briggs would fight back. But it would be to no avail, as Michael Te'o does a great job putting his mark in this tag team matchup, setting the table for the Pillars to get a chance at the tag team championships here. Speaking of Havoc, we see Havoc in one-on-one action against Dean McCarthy. Dean McCarthy having to get himself from out of the gutter, losing the rivalry to Silas Flair, losing his World Heavyweight Championship belt. He needs wins, and he needs to pile them up quickly, and it starts with a big squash win over Havoc, surprising the masses. But someone who does not surprise is our CKW Liberty champion Rick Blade, as he gets out to the ring, issuing an open challenge to anyone. It was announced that both Crash Out Club champions would be issuing open challenges. Rick Blade first, and the person to surprise everyone to answer the call was Adonis Galliano. Adonis, who is ranked last in the CKW Power Rankings, is trying his hand at getting an opportunity for the belt. Rick Blade says, "You simply beat me in this match, I'll give you a championship run." Nobody in the locker room, hell, nobody in the building, believing that Adonis Galliano stands a chance against Rick Blade, who has not seen a loss in 4 months. You heard it. 4 months since Rick Blade has seen his last defeat in a CKW ring, but Adonis Galliano trying everything he has to finish the underdog story and get a chance at the belt. A spear from the corner, and Adonis shocks the world, gets the victory, issues the first defeat to Rick Blade in 4 months, last time losing at the hands of Curtis King, and now Adonis cashing in an opportunity at the CKW Liberty Championship. But starting week 2, we have Curtis King taking to the stage, microphone in hand, as last week we saw who we thought was his teammate Drip Messiah attack him in the middle of a match between him and his rival Owen Dallas, leading to an Owen Dallas win in week 1. But now Curtis King, taking the mic, calls out Drip Messiah to try and get much needed answers with who he thought he could consider an ally. Now, if you know anything about the story between these two, they do not like each other, and surprisingly came together at the beginning of this season in what is now a short-lived partnership between the two.
Oh, what? When did he get here?
Drip Messiah finally joins the ring, addressing that he came here thinking that he would get an opportunity with the help of Curtis and the FRO, but all that has happened has been loss after loss, and he is pinning the blame on Curtis King, saying that he is single-handedly trying to derail his career, and Curtis took that personal. Mics are on the ground, and an impromptu match breaks out between these two former Terminus members. All that people can think watching this match now is this the end of Terminus? And also, which side is the FRO going to be on? We know Fro and Curtis have had a great friendship, but does Drip bring up a good point? Did Curtis put this all together to help himself out, or did Curtis actually want to see success for Drip Messiah? Fro, I'm sure, will be addressing this in the future, but for right now, Curtis King gets the last laugh, and surprisingly, he has the crowd behind him. Are we going to see babyface Curtis again here? But this is just the beginning of that story, as we move on to another one where Kyrie Nixon tries to handle his side of the story as he takes on the other half of the tag team championships, Owen Dallas and Kyrie Nixon now within one-on-one. We saw the other two in Jerome Briggs duke it out in week 1. With a Michael Te'o victory, can Kyrie Nixon send the Crash Out Club home, questioning their title run in a victory here? But in a match with Owen Dallas, you have to be ready for damn near everything, as Kyrie Nixon jumps from the top rope to immediately get countered by Owen Dallas. And knowing Owen Dallas's submission techniques, he is wasting no time to not only get the win, but force Nixon to tap, and he will do just that. Between the two tag teams, there is a victory apiece. Michael Te'o getting one for Pillars, OD getting one for the Crash Out Club. This can only be settled in a tag team championship match. But speaking of settling beefs, Bayley and Ace Rodriguez, we already see Terminus going through some problems. It seems that it's the end of Los Buenos with the unfortunate passing of Flapjack Larry, and now Bayley and Ace, the remaining two members, duking it out. Now, we mentioned that Bayley felt a type of way towards Ace Rodriguez because behind the scenes, Ace Rodriguez found himself showing some respect to Fro, who is rumored to be at fault to Flapjack Larry's passing. It has not been confirmed yet. It is still an ongoing case. But with a victory for Ace Rodriguez, he is going to make sure that he brings pain to Bayley for putting such allegations on his name.
This issue is so personal, you guys can't be surprised.
Not only attacking him after the bell, now he is bringing out the table to put an exclamation point to this rivalry.
Not about what I think. This superstar clearly has malicious intentions. Oh, no.
Bayley through a table, Ace Rodriguez making a statement, and we can only see how this is going to continue in the future. But next up, we see the FRO, who just lost to Rick Blade, taking on Adonis Galliano. The FRO not liking that Adonis Galliano can just cut in line and get a title opportunity over the FRO after his big loss. So now these two will face off in one-on-one action. But you gotta imagine that there's got to be a lot on the FRO's mind, especially with how things happened to start off the show, knowing that there could possibly be no more Terminus. But the FRO needs to make sure he handles his business and keeps his name in the hat for championship contention, as he absolutely embarrasses Adonis Galliano before his title opportunity next week. But there's a lot on the mind of the FRO. But he's not the only one. Magic, as mentioned earlier, issuing an open challenge for his belt, the CKW World Heavyweight Championship. And who will be the one brave enough to take on the red hot Magic? Again, same rules apply for the other Crash Out Club member. Win, you get a chance at the belt. And who answers the call? None other than Silas LaFleur. You can hear the boos cascade, as he is not the most liked across the CKW, but Silas LaFleur can't hear it because he believes he is the most prettiest and the most over amongst all wrestlers in the world. So he is going to take his shot at Magic to get a chance at the belt and do what we just saw Adonis Galliano do, end a 4-month-long streak, because Magic as well has not seen a loss in the same amount of time in what has been a pretty dominant run by the Crash Out Club. But like Adonis Galliano, can Silas LaFleur shock the world? And with the way he has been wrestling here, it is looking like it's gonna be all Silas and a chance for the belt. But Magic is not worried, as he is set to spoil the fun. Magic now finding his groove, not giving Silas a chance to even get back into this one. Throws him into the corner, has him where he wants him, throws him into a turnbuckle, leaving him stunned on the YouTube channel. Getting the 1, 2, 3, and the open challenge is not successful. Magic still needs an opponent to defend his belt against, and it will not be Silas LaFleur. Week 3 is upon us as Curtis King tries to move on after the drama within Terminus, but it's gonna be hard for someone who thought that they had everything all together, as Curtis tries to move on from last week's shenanigans, trying to get himself back in a place to compete for championships as he takes on Alexander the Great, who has been sneakily on a 3-win streak. But the King, not concerned about Alexander, gets him where he wants him. Oh! Curtis King taking Alexander on a royal flight, gets the W, ready to move on. But look who it is. Drip Messiah sneaks past Curtis King, goes into the ring, and to the surprise of everyone, leaves Curtis and attacks Alexander the Great. To where we would expect Curtis would just move on and not be worried about it, he goes to the aid of the wrestler he just took out, helping Alexander the Great up, taking out Drip Messiah. And not only do we have beef between Drip Messiah and Curtis King, are we seeing Curtis going back to his old ways as he faces off against an old foe in Drip Messiah? Only time can tell. But next up, we have Victor Kruger sneaking into the ring as he has himself a match against Loco Justice Lopez. Loco Lopez surprising the CKW world, getting a W against Ace Rodriguez in his first ever match. But when you're going up against a big fella like Victor Kruger, for him to go back-to-back in CKW with wins, in the minds of many, cannot be possible. But God will he try. Loco Lopez seems to be ready for everything and anything that Victor Kruger throws at him, whether it's inside the ring, outside the ring. Loco Lopez has an ability to absorb contact and use it as fuel and anger to get his opponent where he needs them to be. Loco Lopez gets Victor Kruger and surprises the world, going 2-0 in his debut, getting another victory to notch on his belt. But from there, we go to the defense of the tag team championships. It will be the Pillars versus the Crash Out Club in a Crash Out Club rules type match. A tornado tag, if you will. Weapons are allowed, and it's just going to be an overall brawl for the belts. And it would take no time for the Crash Out Club to assert their dominance. You see Owen Dallas getting Michael Te'o with a combo of his own, and the Crash Out Club looking to retain, but not so fast, because now it seems that the power has switched towards the Pillars as they have this match in their complete control. While Kyrie Nixon keeps Jerome Briggs away from stopping the pin, Michael Te'o has Owen Dallas, gets the 1, 2, 3, and after an 84-day reign, the Crash Out Club's tag team championship run is no more. The Pillars are now your new tag team champions, taking just a little bit of power away from the Crash Out Club. Right now, Silas LaFleur in a big match against Game Hunter, who believes that he should be next up for the belt. And in a last chance effort, the winner of this match between Game Hunter and Silas LaFleur would be the #1 contender for Magic and the CKW World Heavyweight Championship in week 4. And Game Hunter looking for an opportunity to get another shot at Magic, this time for the belt. And this match would be all Game Hunter. Silas LaFleur still reeling from the loss last week, and Game Hunter takes advantage, winning. And the new #1 contender for the belt. We'll get more of that later, but right now it'll be the defense no one saw coming. Rick Blade facing off against Adonis Galliano for the CKW Liberty Championship. We already got surprised earlier this week with the Pillars taking the tag team championships off of the Crash Out Club. Can Adonis Galliano once again last on the power rankings, surprise the world, and take out Rick Blade in back-to-back wins? Again, Adonis Galliano is the first person to pin Rick Blade in over 4 months, and you've got to believe that Rick Blade took that personal. Rick Blade wasting no time after the 1 pin attempt from Adonis Galliano. That seemed to be the only shot that Adonis would get in this match, as Rick Blade found his juice and got things going.
That move has brought victory before, but not on this occasion. Might be time to...
Adonis though would fight back, throwing him to the ropes, get him into a combo, flip kick, and it's looking like Adonis could shock the world again.
The superstar playing to the WWE Universe before delivering another dose of absolute brutality. Look at.
Well, it wouldn't be that way because the perks are activated. Rick Blade hitting him with a perk slam, and just for good measure, another series of moves, keeping Adonis Galliano stunned. Gets the 1, 2, 3 and retains the CKW Liberty Championship. The belt goes nowhere. And now it's time for the final week. Week 4, Ace Rodriguez, Dean McCarthy. Ace Rodriguez believing that everything is in the past and he can now move forward and focus on his title aspirations and taking on one of the hottest and toughest competitors in CKW, and Dean McCarthy.
Offense here. He's leaving zero room to breathe. He's not planning on. Look out!
Gets the win, but look at who it is.
What a win, what a battle. Wait for behind.
Loco Justice Lopez surprising everyone, attacking Ace Rodriguez. We thought that there would be an alliance between the two, but Justice Lopez is just that unhinged where you can never predict his next move. But from that, we move on to the FRO, who finds himself in a big match. Look who it is. Drip Messiah instead makes his way down the ring, expecting Fro to choose his side. But you can tell the FRO is still not sure. Decides to back off, saying, all right then. But who's waiting for him? None other than Curtis King. And the answer has been given. The FRO, Curtis, still remain allies. And though Terminus may be done, the friendship still goes on between the FRO and Curtis King.
A deadlift military press. This is
Bring back Eddie Guerrero.
Power.
It's between Drip and Fro to put a pin in the Terminus storyline, at least for now. But who will come out the victor, as Drip Messiah can't believe that the FRO would turn his back on him for Curtis. But it wouldn't matter because the hot streak from the FRO would continue, getting a roll-up pin on Drip Messiah. 1, 2, 3. And for now, the new baby faces in the FRO and Curtis seem to have been able to put Drip Messiah away. But fresh off of a tag team championship loss, Owen Dallas wants an opportunity back for the belts as he takes on who he believes as the stronger of the two in Michael Te'ao, now one half of the tag team championship holders. But Owen Dallas would unleash absolute hell on the new tag team champion. Though Michael Te'ao would go on a run, putting Owen Dallas in what looks like to be a compromising position, it wouldn't be enough because Owen Dallas gets right back up, does what he does. Owen Dallas throws him with the flip, not ending this in a submission, but ending this in a pin count, gets the victory, trying to get himself back a chance at the belt. Or is he?
Anytime the loser fighting back here, even though the match is over.
Because it seems that Owen Dallas just wants to make Michael Te'ao pay as the Crash Out Club unleashes a barrage of attacks on the already down and out Michael Te'ao just because. But from there we move to a championship match. We saw Game Hunter take out Silas LaFleur for the #1 contender opportunity, and he gets a shot at the belt against his former rival, Magic. This match would go back and forth between the two heavy hitters, where some parts of the crowd believe that Game Hunter actually has a chance at being the new champion. There's also others that believe that Magic will never drop these belts. Either way, it has been an entertaining back and forth, an entertaining match between these two, and it's going to the very bitter end, back and forth. Magic in the lead, Hunter in the lead. It just can't be seen who is ultimately going to be the champion until Magic goes for a run. Game Hunter having Magic where he thought he would want him. Magic rolls right out of it, grabs Game Hunter, throws him down with a slam, even having both Havoc and Victor reacting on the corner. But this would all be over as Magic gets him with the spear, stunning the challenger. 1, 2, 3. Another ending, same result. Magic and the Crash Out Club continues to run the CKW as they hold both championships. They may be without the tag belts, but the pendulum still swings in their direction. Will there ever be an ending for the Crash Out Club? Let's find out next month.
I got road rage, been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. I got road rage, I've been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. I got road rage, I've been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. I got road rage, I've been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. Got 100K on my wrist and my necklace.